start with another tier list. This one's going to be on the best cards in the game, and you guys know these tier lists are always the most hard to make. Like, the position ones, I don't really find too bad, but these ones, they can be a little bit difficult. So go a little easy on me in the comments today. If you are excited, that like button down below. I will link the point guards through centers. Obviously, the most recent, like, Flash 2 packs and some other things may not be in there because, obviously, they're a little bit outdated. But for the most part, they still stand true, and I'm giving you one last tier list after Flash 2 to do it. So hit that subscribe button if you guys are new, and quickly leave a message from the sponsor of today's video before we fully get into the tier list.
If you need your unlimited 12-0 domination Evo cards level 40 or even more grinded, contact Rose NBA on Twitter. Link is in the description.
Alright, now that we got that out of the way, I want to show you guys just the worst of the best here first. But I want to just explain that all of these cards are absolutely amazing. Like, these are called the best of the best. These are some of the cards that you literally want on your lineup. There's best of the best, still damn good, pretty damn solid, still solid, and worst of the best. Like, all of these cards are amazing. You should definitely love using them. So, you know, even if your favorite cards down here, it's still ranked. These are 70 or 72 cards, I think, in total between this list and the one here. So there's still a top 70 card. It'll be okay. So first off, we can start off with the worst of the best here, where we will go through and rank all of these wonderful guys here. This is as many as I can fit in one list. So we have Diamond Monte Ellis, Diamond Marquise Johnson, Ruby Lou Dort, Amethyst Karl Anthony Towns, Diamond Jamal Wilkes, Diamond Dirk, Amethyst Glitch Dennis Rodman, who just dropped yesterday, Diamond DeMar, Ruby Darius Miles, and Diamond Bob Pettit, Larry Keenan, and Tom Chambers. So I'm going to go through and explain a little bit on all these cards. Now, Monte Ellis should have been a point guard, and the fact that he isn't is what really I think sets him up to literally fail. And he has a pretty bad dribble style, so you're really not going to get anything out of him. I did use him, and I was absolutely money when I was shooting with him, but I just don't think that that's enough to really put him above everybody else. Marquise Johnson, we just got a better version of him that's really not that expensive, and whenever I've actually used Marquise himself, he really just hasn't felt amazing versus his counterpart Dominique. I don't know what it is, but the jumper's a little bit awkward at time. I don't think it's terrible. Some people think overreact a little bit on it, but personally, I've used Marquise and he just hasn't felt amazing to me. Lou Dort is supposed to be an amazing like 3-and-D option, but really he only does like the defense part of it. He doesn't really have the badges and the shooting, but you can make it work. But there's just better options as a shooting guard. I love Lou Dort. I think he's amazing. I had like literally one of the easiest times doing his XP challenge, but he's nothing crazy. Amethyst Karl Anthony Towns, I think this card is severely overrated just because tydebo likes, you know, the Timberwolves, and tydebo likes cat cards. His release is god-awfully slow, but when it comes to post-game and that sort of stuff, the dude is absolutely insane. When it comes to actually, you know, being an open pick-and-pop guy, with just with how close or easy contests are, even like if you get him open, it's going to be kind of hard to be open, just with how 2K22 is right now. So I think Cat is good, but he's definitely not up here, yeah, with the top tier center, and he just can't guard anybody else on this list. That's the problem. Jamal Wilkes is next, and his problem is the fact that his release is just weird. Like, it is just awkward. I either absolutely green the hell out of it, or it's a late. There's no in between with this Jamal Wilkes. But his saving grace is he's an amazing defender. Like, this guy clamps everything up, and he's actually a pretty good slasher too. So, you know, just throw him in there as a cone to just play defense at the small forward. It's actually honestly pretty good. Dirk Nowitzki is next. Obviously, you know what you expect with Dirk. You get all offense and absolutely no defense. And just like Karl Anthony Towns, I view these cards as one of the same. Releases are a little bit slow, but you know, it is what it is. Next up, Amethyst Dennis Rodman, who is honestly in there as a like top 5 defender in the game. Like, the dude is absolutely insane. But obviously, weirdly enough, usually defense is one of the things that you really love in a game. But I think it's actually not as needed this year, just because everybody's a pretty good defender. So I don't know. But Dennis Rodman's big, I guess, negative, just like Karl Anthony Towns and Dirk, is the jumper's just slow. It is weird. I do think it's better, honestly. If I'm talking about all 3 of these jumpers, I kind of like Dennis's the best, oddly enough. But it's just not the most consistent, and you got to be aware that sometimes it can be a little bit bad. So, you know, there's that. All around, it's not the most amazing. Next up is DeMar DeRozan. I absolutely love this card, and I think he's amazing, but I do understand that the card is not for everybody, and that you know, you need to have a little bit of skill in order to time the jumper correctly, and if you just, you know, aren't the greatest with timing the jumper, it's going to be a little bit weird for you. So there's that. But when it comes to being a mid-range demon, he's an absolute god, but his only 73-point shot kind of holds him back to some people, so there is that. Next up is Darius Miles, my absolute god. I love the Brook Lopez base. I love this card in general. Seriously, one of my favorite cards to just go out there, run, have fun with. I absolutely love him. He's one of the best budget cards in the game. If you need somebody just come in and do work for you, this is the guy to do it, because he's seriously absolutely insane. Next up, Bob Pettit. I love him. Set shot 14 is a little bit awkward, but I've been able to time it really, really nicely, and I just love the card. Larry Kendon is a absolutely amazing defender at the power forward, but he just doesn't really have the badges to help it out, but can still be pretty nice. Just doesn't really have a three-point shot to back it up. And Tom Chambers, pretty good, but, you know, nothing crazy on him. The jumper's just weird, and when the jumper's weird, I'm not really a massive fan of it. So, you know, there's that. And I've been doing this recently, showing you guys the C tier as well, and I haven't really seen any complaints from people, so we're just going to keep doing that. We're going to show off the full C tier just because I expect this one is going to be a bit of a long one, so I just want to get it out the way. And here is our still solid tier. We have Ruby Tyrese Halliburton, Ruby Tim Hardaway, Pink Diamond Oscar, Diamond Nikola Jokic, Diamond Luka Doncic, Diamond Louis Dampier, Ruby Landry Fields, Diamond Kyrie Irving, Amethyst Jimmy Butler, Ruby Jay Crowder, Diamond Jeremy Williams, and Diamond Chris Bosh. A pretty damn good list. So, Ruby Tyrese Halliburton still has that Aaron Gordon jumper, and I absolutely love it. The dude is a demon, and he does whatever the hell he wants. So, you know, good for him. Ruby Tim Hardaway Jr. is one of my favorite shooters in literally the entire game. I don't know what it is, but the dude literally just, he doesn't miss. He's seriously one of my favorite cards to just go out there and have an absolute damn blast with. So, you know, go Tyrese Halliburton, or sorry, go Tim Hardaway Jr. The dude's even got some good defense, some good, you know, driving dunks, stuff like that. I just love this card. I don't know what it is about him, but he's just one of the most consistent shooters for me. So I can't wait until we hopefully get a J.R. Smith card. I don't really know how that's working. I've heard that they don't really have his rights, but hopefully they do. Either way, absolutely amazing. Nikola Jokic is one of those cards who, again, has a pretty slow release, but I feel like plays a little bit better because you can still get some rebounding, still do some things here and there. It can still be a pretty damn good asset to your offense. You know, there's that. Luka Doncic is pretty good, but he just doesn't really have the greatest of dribble styles. It's, I think, the base one, and it's pretty terrible. And I know some people don't really love his jumper, so, you know, that's a, you know, meh thing to some people. You got to be careful with that. So I think he's good, but he's a free card, so, you know, you got to love him anyway. Louis Dampier is basically another version of Tony Parker, which honestly is actually pretty damn good this year. But you gotta be careful because he does have that base dribble set, and if you haven't used a guard with the base dribble set, you'll realize it's bad. It really doesn't help you do anything that you want to do. So, you know, there's that. Landry Fields is up next, and the dude has jump shot 4, and it's just one of the better 3-and-D cards in the game. Like, he just does whatever the hell he wants, shoots threes, plays defense. You know, I love him. I think he's actually a really fun card, like really good card, especially for a budget guy. What he can do is amazing. Kyrie Irving is up next, and the I guess thing that sucks about Kyrie is the fact that, well, he is honestly, I would say that Kyrie is probably like a top 2 to 3 offensive player in the game. He's just not the, you know, greatest defender. So, you know, if you had Kyrie's matched up, nobody's playing any sort of defense, and you're just going back and forth getting buckets, which honestly can be pretty fun. So if that's really what you're into, you know, there's that. Have fun with it. But the saving grace for Kyrie is that on defense, nobody can guard him. So, you know, there's that. It's actually been a pretty fun time. I've had fun using Kyrie. He's my backup point guard, so, you know, I still like him. But let's be honest, his lack of defense sometimes can come to hurt him a little bit. Jimmy Butler's up next, 3-and-D guy, but his jumper's a little bit slow and jump shot 22 for a guard. If he had the quick timing, I think it'd be nasty, but, you know, all around, I still think he is a really solid card. Jay Crowder is up next. Dude is basically like a small forward, power forward version of James Harden. I think he's crazy. Like, I think this dude is actually kind of nutty. Just what he can do is amazing. I mean, he's basically a good defender, pretty solid finisher, although he doesn't really have the badges to really back that up. Is going to be a great shooter and just a great all-around just glue guy for your team. I love Jay Crowder. Jerry Williams is up next, and again, the other card that suffers from that base dribble style, and I just don't think you really want it from a guy that's going to be playing your PG when he's not really going to be the most amazing at other things. Base 38 is actually pretty good and can be damn nice if you use it correctly. But, you know, again, that dribble style kind of kicks his ass for himself. Chris Bosh is up next, and he is pretty cool. Set shot 4 is not the most amazing, but again, with Chris Bosh, you kind of get that, you know, Jokic, Dirk, Cat syndrome, where you're going to be playing a lot of offense, you're getting a lot of buckets, but are you going to be able to stop everybody else that can get buckets? Probably not, so, you know, that's a bit of a catch-22, and you got to watch out for that. And then I think we have 2 people on this side of the list, actually, that are in this C-ish tier, and it is Brad Daughtry, Bob Cousy, and Allen Iverson. 3 cards, again, that I really like. Brad Daughtry, one of the better centers in the game, and you get him for free from the token market. But I would say, in general, I'm not, like, the most excited about Brad Daughtry. If you badge him up, he could be pretty good, but all around, just nothing crazy. Bob Cousy is actually a pretty good PG. He's got some good defense, but a little bit undersized, and whenever you try to go to the paint with him, he gets absolutely sent. So, it's not the most fun that way. But all around, not too bad of a card. And Allen Iverson just didn't really get the badges on defense, and I don't really feel like he's too worth it badging up, especially after we get Isaiah Thomas, because what you're going to be spending in badging him up, you could just pick up IT for, so, there's that. All around, I love the Allen Iverson cards. I love the trade break base, but I think that there's just as good of PG options for his prices, There's that. But all around, pretty damn good cards. And now we can start off our pretty damn solid tier. We're starting off with the man himself, Wilt Chamberlain. You kind of know what you get of a Wilt card. If I need to explain to you at this point what Wilt can do, you might need to do a little bit of research. You're not really going to be shooting any threes, any mid-ranges even, but you're going to get to the paint. You are going to play in the post. You're going to do it damn well. You're going to lock down everybody else who's trying to play in the post, and you're going to get rebounds. That is what you do as a Wilt Chamberlain card, and he is one of the better ones at it. Next up is Vince Carter, a card that I've seen some people say is a bit overrated, but I kind of disagree with it. Vince Carter is an amazing card. Like, I've heard some people say that he feels like sluggish, but I'm gonna be honest. Every card in the game feels sluggish right now, besides like Derrick Rose, Isaiah Thomas, and like Stephon Marbury, De'Aaron Fox, like those guys, the 95 speed guys. So I wouldn't read too much into it. I think he is an absolutely amazing card, one of the best slashers you can have in the game. Still is a good jumper. He can space out the floor all around. Really, really good card. But, some people may say he feels sluggish, so be careful because he's a little bit empty. Next up is my man TJ Warren, and once you badge this card out, he is an absolute demigod. He's got the defense. He is a jumper that even on the normal timing just has a great speed to it. I don't know what it is, but TJ Warren actually is one of my MVPs on the squad. He just literally does everything that I need him to do and does it perfectly. Defense, three-pointers, dunks the ball, just all around. I love myself some TJ Warren. The bubble god is back and better than ever. Next up is my man Richie Guerin. He is a nice little diamond with jump shot 4 and literally doesn't miss. His defense is alright. His slashing is actually pretty damn good. And again, it's just one of those cards. Carried me through domination, so maybe I have a little bit of bias to him. But if you just like guys that can come out there and just get buckets for you, Richie Guerin's your guy. Next up is my man Rick Smits, like the 7'4", I think it is, damn demon, and I absolutely love Rick Smits. I'm actually doing his XP challenges like right now, and it's kind of crazy what he can do. His post game is nutty. His jumper actually feels really good for a guy of his size, and his rebounding is great. Obviously his defense is good because he's that damn tall. You could have like a 50 block but still be like 7 foot, and it's gonna feel good in 2K. Like, just kind of how the game works. But all around, it's absolutely amazing. The fact that he's a budget card that actually is going for like dummy cheap really makes me like him even more anyways. Next up is my man Otis Birdsong, a card who has no right being this damn good. Like, Otis is a god. Oh my lord. They basically gave Otis Birdsong all of the cheesiest dribble moves in the game, and he can just do whatever the hell he wants. Like, Otis Birdsong, I've gone against some people who really know how to dribble this year, and they have absolutely cooked me because you have no clue what he's going to be doing. And that's really what you get. He has a good three-point shot. He's got some good finishing ability, and he even has like silver class, I think it is, to play some good defense, or at least bronze. And it's just absolutely insane. Like, this Otis Birdsong off the exchange should be one of the cards you kind of look to get if you can, because as a shooting guard, he is honestly insane. Next up is my man ML Carr. Has jump shot 75 on quick, which is a great timing on a jumper, and his defense is obviously some of the best in the game. I would honestly say that him or Scottie Pippen probably have the best defense in the game. Now, has literally no shooting badges, so you need to be aware of that because you just need to rely on your own timing to make shots with ML Carr. But his slashing is still good, and again, the just benefit that he gives you on being one of the best defenders ever really helps. Next up is LeBron James, a card that I myself personally think is a little bit overrated. And I don't know, I didn't mention this with the cat, but for all of these signature series cards, just to not clog up the list too much, I'm only including the signed versions because they're basically the same. But with LeBron James, he's missing out on quick first step, and that's kind of why I think he is overrated a bit, because, I mean, come on. LeBron James is not going to be as good as he needs to be without quick first step. It's just kind of how the game always has worked in 2K. Since quick first step came in, you need it to just do good. And LeBron, same case. He's going to be a good defender. He's going to be a pretty good slasher, despite, not having quick first step, but actually getting to the paint to get those buckets is going to be a little bit tough for him. So, there's that. And he's going to be a good shooter, but I mean, his layup package still kind of is cheeks. So, you know, not the greatest thing there. But next up is our man, LaMelo Ball, who I think some people are going to look at the fact that I have LaMelo and LeBron on the same tier and think it's blasphemous. But honestly, LaMelo plays a lot better on defense than you would think he should play, which is kind of crazy for him. LaMelo is actually a god, man. The jumper is absolutely money. If you don't like him just because he's a Ruby, you need to check yourself, because this card is a god and one of my favorite cards of all time so far in 2K22. He just does literally whatever he wants. Jumper's money. Everything's crazy. LaMelo is a demon. Nobody can guard him. Next up is my guy, Jerry Lucas. Ray Allen base as a power forward is pretty nice. Got an amazing post game, like one of the better post players in 2K22 right now. Obviously, the best probably being like, you know, maybe a Dikembe or a Shaquille O'Neal, you know, that does help. But all around is actually just a god. Like, just a god. Jerry Lucas, having the ability to stretch the floor as your power forward, even as a center, if you want to run it that way, is great. One of my friends picked up Jerry and just absolutely loves him. Thinks he's a demon, so, you know, there is that. Next up is my man, Freddie Van Vliet, and just because they have the same name, Fred Brown. I put them right next to each other for a reason. It's just fun, man. Fred Van Vliet has a Giannis base, has the quick dribble style, and is so cheesy. If you haven't tried out this Amethyst Fred Van Vliet, bro, you are missing out. The dude is absolutely money. The Giannis base is so much better than it should be, and it has me terrified for later versions of Giannis cards. I'm not going to lie, I'm terrified for them. But Fred Van Vliet cheeses around, he gets to the basket, can't dunk that thing once he gets in there, but he has good defense on other guards, and it's just all around fun. If I'm being honest, I actually would pick up a Fred Van Vliet over a Kyrie Irving. I just don't like spending MT on cards, so I'm using Kyrie. So there's that. And Fred Brown is the better version of Kyrie, who I think you can actually like badge up and stuff like that. So honestly, save yourself the tokens and just get Fred Brown, and again, you save yourself 30 tokens, and you can pick up somebody else, like maybe a Mark Eaton, to just play godly defense. You never know. And then I think on the next page, we actually have a few more right here where we have, boom, I'm just going to show them all at once. Picked Dale Ellis, who's basically Jerry Lucas, but a 6'7" shooting guard, and he's just crazy. That Ray Allen base is actually kind of money. And I've just, honestly, I've had some people cook me with Dale. Rajon Rondo I think is really good just because his defense is great, has a bit of shooting in the midi and three-point shot. You know, he's got like 70s there. But I think he needs it a little bit better to really be a top PG. He is, I think, actually the fastest card in the game right now. So, you know, go Rajon Rondo. But all around, I still think there's a little bit to be desired there because he's a guy who can't really shoot and can't dunk. He's kind of just like a great playmaker and defender. And if that fits your system, I think Rondo's probably one of the best PGs you could have. You know, just having a PG that plays defense and playmakes. That's not really what I like to do. I do majority of my scoring with my guards. So for me, it's personally not the greatest. But if you're just like somebody who has, you know, your shooting guard through center shoot a lot more than your PG, and you just need a PG to play make, Rondo's probably the best at that. So you know what? He gets some bonus points, I guess, for that. Next up is Gary Harris, who honestly may be underrated on this list. Amethyst Gary Harris has jump shot 107. I think that's like the Tatum jumper from last year that had one of the biggest green windows, and I think it might this year. I did not miss using this Gary Harris. It was just green after green after green after green. You can pick him up for Ruby at like 4K, get that Evo up, sell him for like 6 or 7. Pretty good MT making opportunity there because it's not that hard. And he's an amazing slasher, an amazing defender. He gets like gold clamps. He's just all around great. If you need a good shooting guard that's cheap, pick up this Amethyst Gary Harris and you will not regret it. Daryl Dawkins is a collector level card. You can Evo up. You get him at Diamond, move up the pink Diamond, and he is the best finishing center in the game. Best post player, dunking, and just finishing center in general. If you need somebody like that, work up the collector level and get Daryl Dawkins. The dude is just crazy. Like, seriously, he has like a 90-something in both dunks, 90s in the post. Like, the dude is godly when it comes to just going into the paint and putting people to work. And last but not least, into this like B tier here is Dominique Wilkins. I picked up Dominique last night to actually work through triple threat and get his, you know, triple threat online rebounds, and I was surprisingly impressed with how great he played. The jumper was money. I was literally hitting whatever the hell I wanted to. His defense was playing great. He was finishing actually insane on triple threat, and which is one of the better cards that I was playing with. And I had a few other people that were using him and didn't really have the same success I did, so maybe I'll just have an on day with my man, but he honestly was fire. He was fire. So I'm throwing him in the B tier. I like him. I've had some fun with him, so you know there's that. Next up, we can start off our still damn good tier, where we're starting off with Walt Frazier, a card that I recently picked up, and I literally have no regrets. The dude has amazing defense. His jumper is money. His finishing is great. His playmaking is great. And he can play the play style of being that guy who you score a lot with as your point guard, being the guy that you play make a lot with your point guard, or just being the guy that you just play defense with as your point guard. You know, you just have him in the game. It's a lockup. And I think the versatility that he brings to lineups is what makes him so good. And if I'm being honest, I know a lot of people talk about Mitch being the best one, but I think it's Walt Frazier. The dude is crazy, and I just needed a bit of an upgrade at the PG because Kuzi just wasn't it, and Walt Frazier has been everything that I needed. Next up is Stephon Marbury. If you like offensive PGs that just don't really have a lot of defense, but they are going to absolutely drop buckets on you, and honestly virtually unguardable, it's Stephon Marbury. The dude is basically another version of Derrick Rose, but he's not Derrick Rose. I decided to put him actually a tier below Derrick Rose. Spoiler alert, I guess, just because, well, they are the same person. That Hall of Fame quick first step is just such an upgrade from gold that you honestly need it. But Marbury is one of the best slashers in the game, one of the fastest cards in the game. The dude is crazy. Like D-Rose cards, pick up Stephon Marbury. He's so much cheaper. Next up is the man, the myth, the legend, Shaquille O'Neal. If you like to just bully people and basically not give them a chance to play 2K22 today, pick up Shaquille O'Neal, because the second that you decide to hold L2, they lose. Sick. You ever been locked up in a possession in 2K22 and don't know what to do? That's fine. Pick up Shaq and just give it to him and just hold L2, press down on your left stick, and square to drop step. And then you have a 2-point shot every single time. Like, the dude is just literally a cheat code. When it comes to just playing in the post, he's one of the best cards in the game. His defense is great. His rebounding is great. Obviously, just literally can't shoot for the life of him. If his life was on the line for a jumper, he'd be dead. Next up is my man, Scottie Pippen. Did a gameplay with him yesterday, and he is so fun, man. I always love Scottie Pippen cards just because they are perfect for fast break opportunities, because he is nice and quick. He has really good shooting, really good finishing, really good playmaking, really, really good defense. This Scottie may be the best defender in the game. And you can just give it to him, run down the court, and it is so easy to just do whatever the hell you want with him, which is just fun, man. So Scottie Pippen gets a W in my book. Plus, his jumper feels a little bit different from last year, and it's actually really fun. So, you know, W's for Scottie. Next up is De'Aaron Fox, who's basically Stephon Marbury with the Paul George jumper. He's fast, gets to the basket, play makes well, and can shoot a little bit. All around nice. Next up is Money Mitch, who is just Jimmy Butler, I guess, without as good of defense, but just so much better offense, because they gave my man the ability to speed boost like nobody's business. Like, literally nobody's business. He does whatever the hell he wants. Like, Mitch Richmond is an absolute god. If you've ever, you know, looked at the token market and be like, you know, who should I end up buying? Mitch Richmond and I think Walt Frazier should be your two options that you really consider. They're just crazy. Jump shot 22 is great. He's just one. Honestly, I would say Mitch Richmond is probably one of the best offensive cards that you could probably have in the game. The dude is just all around amazing. Next up is my man, Signature Series, Larry Bird. Just the gorgeous locks on him are so nice. And I think I put Larry up into still damn good just because you actually have the possibility to badge up this Larry Bird and make him like 10 times better than maybe he should be, which is honestly kind of a W. So, you know, you love to see that. All around, he's one of the best shooters in the entire game. Like, how could you really hate that? It's a dub. But he's just good, man. I mean, if you like the Larry Bird jumper in previous years, you're going to like it this year. He still has some pretty good defense and is just one of those better power forwards in the game. I know some people traditionally don't like the Bird jumper, but if you can get over it and you like it, he's amazing. Just do not expect him to dunk, because I promise you, it's not going to happen. Next up is my man, Kelly Tripucka, and some people may disagree with where I have Kelly on my list, but spoiler alert, I don't care. Kelly is just amazing. This dude is one of the best just pure catch and shoot cards that I've had. He literally does not miss. If I throw it to this Kelly, it's greens every single time. You give him any sort of daylight and I am making the shot, I can almost guarantee it. Like, the dude is so fun to just pick up and just run around on the court and just try to get open, chuck some threes. It's just amazing. All around, Kelly's great. Next up is my man, the glitch, James Harden. If you don't know how to get James Harden, I'll give you a little tip right now. Head out to those MyTeam streets in Unlimited and go ahead and win 5 games, and then boom, you have yourself a James Harden. Nice and easy, and he honestly is one of the better cards in the game. So much so that I actually debated putting him up a tier into the best of the best, and I thought some people may not like it. So, and there's a lot of pretty good cards up there, so I decided to move James Harden down a little bit. But his Harden jumper is actually really good this year. It is a little bit slow, so you have to be a little bit careful with what you're doing. So, you know, there's that, just like you'll see with Jay Crowder if you use him first. What I would actually recommend, pick up Jay Crowder, use his jumper, and then see how it feels for you, and then if you like it, go ahead and grind the 5 games of unlimited for James Harden, because it's going to be a bit of a sweat fest. But once you do, he has gold clamp, so he's one of the better defenders. He can slash pretty well, he can play make great, just all around is one of the perfect 2 guards for you. Just has that all around ability, which is really nice. He's not going to be like insane at one aspect, but he's really good at all of them. Next up is my man Gus Gerard, who is just an amazing defender. Like, Gus Gerard locks it down. He's basically Scottie Pippen with a slightly better jump shot. That's Gus Gerard right there. Now, you can't get him anymore because he was on the Triple Threat Online reward board, so, you know, there's that. I apologize, but he's still pretty damn good. Next up, Draymond Green. We kind of know what he does. The Swiss Army knife, jack of all trades, plays defense, shoots some threes, finishes, plays in the post, play makes, does literally whatever he wants. He's currently, I think, he switches between my starting power forward and my bench center. So, you know, there's that. But all around, amazing. And whenever I have an opportunity to use Draymond, he's on the court. And last but not least, for this page at least, is Dikembe Mutombo. The dude's like, what, 7'2" or something like that. One of the longest wingspans in the game. If you think you're going up into paint on Dikembe, I want you to think twice before you're doing it, because odds are he's sending you into the 5th route. That's just how it works. And on offense, he has the ability to stretch out the floor, but it's not the most amazing. And he's going to be one of the best post guys you can have. He's an amazing lob threat, just all around pretty damn great, and a really versatile card, which will be really fun. But the main thing that I love him for is just the defense, man. It's crazy. And then we have 3 over here on this little list. We have Glenn Robinson, Blake Griffin, and Allen Houston. Glenny Boy, my starting power forward whenever I'm not feeling like using Draymond. It's just crazy. Jump shot 29 is really good this year. It's just so easy to time. I don't know what it is about it, but I don't miss with Glenn, like, at all. Like, Glenn Robinson's one of my most consistent cards in the game. It's just so fun. Like, I'm actually checking it right now, and through the games that I've played, I'm actually shooting 86% from 3 with Glenn Robinson. The dude is just that good. Blake Griffin as well is absolutely amazing. One of those really good guys that you can play as like a stretch 5. His jumper is really good this year. It's so much better than it has been in previous years. And future Blakes are going to be amazing. Plus, he's an amazing post guy. He's a really good finisher, like one of the best in the game next to Daryl Dawkins. I just absolutely love him. Blake, one of the best budget cards in the game. Try him out. I promise you, you won't regret it. And Allen Houston is, again, just like a better version of Dale Ellis, because you can badge him up and get like clamps, stuff like that. I know it can be a little bit confusing with who can get badges and who can't, but Allen Houston's pretty great. Although he's on the collected level, it's going to take a little bit to get, so, you know, odds are you probably should go with Dale if you want him. So, you know, there's that. And now we can finally get into our best of the best here. I know it's taken a while, but we are finally here and talking about Sleepy Floyd, who, again, is really good. Jump shot 22, real cheesy, does whatever the hell he wants. He's just super fun. Has some of the better dribble moves in the game, and it's just all around great. He's got defense, he's got shooting, he's got finishing, he's got all of it. But he's on the exchange, and he at least uses a diamond player. So, yeah, odds of you getting him are pretty damn slim. Next up is my man's Serge Ibaka, jump shot 26, and I'm going to be honest. I know Kareem's in the game, but I think the versatility that Serge Ibaka gives you, being an amazing post defender, being one of the best slashers in the game, being one of the best post guys in the game, being one of the best shooters at the big man position, makes him the best center in the game. I know some people may disagree, but I don't really care. Some people are calling it Dikembe, but I think Serge's jumper is just so much better that I have him up there above Dikembe. It's just me. I think I put Dikembe up on my top 10 centers list at number 1, but thinking back on it now, Serge is number 1. I don't regret it. Next up is my man Ron Boone, the Vault Reward, who I was not lucky enough to have grace my presence, but Ron Boone is just great. He has amazing defense. He has the pole. He's basically just a better version of De'Aaron Fox. Like, the dude is godly because he has insane defense. If you got Ron Boone, I'm jealous of you. Next up is Kobe Bryant, one of the better cards in the game right now. Like, the dude is just crazy. The Kobe jumper is amazing. Like, it is amazing. I don't know what it is this year, but I used like the free agent Kobe for like a game or 2 in domination just to get like the hang of things. I wasn't missing. Like, it's just a really, really smooth jumper this year. Plus, you know, with Kobe, you're going to get amazing defense, great playmaking, and really good finishing. So he's just super versatile. Can't really guard anybody in the post, even though he has, I think, an intimidator. But he does have some pretty good dribble styles as well. So all around, it's going to be a really damn good card. Next up is Kawhi Leonard in contention for the best defender in the game, next to ML Carr, wherever the hell he is, somewhere in this list, and Scottie Pippen. Just what Kawhi can do on defense is absolutely insane. You mix having the rail and base, some pretty good finishing, some pretty good post game. It's just great. But the main thing that Kawhi's good at is literally being a lock-up defender. Like, I've gone against Scottie and Kawhi, and it is so hard to score against these two when you're guarding it that it's just better to throw it to somebody else to try and get something than the guy that's being guarded by them. Next up is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the best post player like in the game, bar none. I've gone against this Kareem so many times, and if you let him at all get into like that half circle area in the paint, you can basically just guarantee that it's a bucket. Plus, he has an amazing mid-range. He has really good defense, and this Kareem sets damn Miyagi's, man. He sets those screens, and you are bricked. There's no way around it. It is so bad, but he's still a damn good card, and he can be super fun whenever you're using him. Next up is Amethyst Josh Smith, a card who I'm probably going to add to the lineup pretty damn soon. I can almost guarantee you that I'm going to pick up this Josh Smith to do his XP challenges. I'm going to have him on my squad, and then I'm not going to be able to sell him because he's way too much fun. I can almost guarantee you that's what's going to happen. Because Josh Smith, that's a Brook Lopez base, one of my favorite bases every single year in 2K. And I'm not going to lie, Josh Smith is also up in that conversation with being the best defender of the game, but at the big man position. Because Josh Smith plays that small ball role so well. Being 6'9" with a 7-foot wingspan, he's going to be one of the best slashers you can use with an 80 standing, 90 driving, some great finishing badges. Has 84s in his speed and a 75 speed with wall, which is really solid. And if you give him a quick first step, he can actually cheese people up at that center position. And then he has Silver Clamps, Intimidator, and Interceptor. He has Hall of Fame Pogo Sticks. You can just spam triangle if you want to. Some great rebounding, but doesn't have Rebound Chaser. So, there's that. So, honestly, you pick up this Josh Smith, give him a quick first step, give him a brick wall, and give him a box, and it's going to be a damn good time. Like, the dude is going to be one of the best cards in the game. Not the greatest of a post presence, but still has a bit, if you have it, to, like, abuse some guys that give some, mismatches. But all around is amazing. Josh Smith is a god. Next up is Isaiah Thomas. If you haven't checked out my gameplay on him yesterday, you should check it out. The dude has a money jumper and is one of the best slashers in the game, despite being 6'1", which means, yeah, he's good. And his defense is absolutely insane. I was averaging like 2 steals a game when I was using him yesterday. The card is just crazy. One of the easiest XP challenges I've ever done. Like, Isaiah Thomas, I'm not going to lie, he's the best point guard in the game right now. And it's really not even close. Like, Derrick Rose is good, but Isaiah Thomas is better. Next up is Dwayne Wade, who was honestly one of the better shooting guard defenders that I've used. I had a game of triple threat where I had 11 blocks with Dwayne Wade. I was honestly just having fun with it. Plus, he has the D-Wade jumper, which is absolutely money. It is so easy to time. It is so nice, and it's actually pretty quick, even on the normal timing. But the defense, the amazing finishing, the good shooting, the playmaking that D-Wade gives you, this card is just an absolute god. And I think this signed one has Hall of Fame quick first step or something like that, and it's absolutely godly. Next up is my man Amethyst Donovan Mitchell. If you badge up Donovan Mitchell, he is, I'm not going to lie, a top 3 to 5 shooting guard in the entire game, even though he's 6'1", because he's a 6'10" wingspan, Hall of Fame fast twitch, and if you badge him up, you can get him gold clamps, Hall of Fame quick first step. He has, gold blinders and sniper and catch and shoot. You give him a chef, and he's an absolute god. Like, the dude is just crazy. Like, this Donovan Mitchell is crazy. Jump shot 4 on that normal timing. The shifty dribble style is great, and he has amazing dribbling moves. The only negative that you can really say with this Donovan Mitchell is that he has the Kyrie Irving layup package, and that's a big negative, because let me tell you, it's like when you got the Kyrie Irving layup package, it almost feels like your card is begging to get blocked by the opposing defender. It is so frustrating, but it is what it is. Next up is my man Derrick Rose, who I've been talking about a bunch, like a better version of Stephon Marbury. Derrick Rose is just one of the shiftiest and quickest cards in the game. He's 6'3" with a 6'8" wingspan. It's a 77 shot 3, Hall of Fame fearless and slithery, Hall of Fame downhill and quick first step. He's going to be, I think, feels like the fastest card in the game. And the way they nerfed him is not giving him the greatest shooting or defense, but if you know what you're doing, you'll be fine. And his dribbling is absolutely amazing. If somebody knows how to cook up and cheese with some nice dribbles, Derrick Rose is a god. And last but not least, at least for this page, is Diamond Danny Granger, who is obviously an absolute god. And the reason that I put him above Glenn Robinson is because Danny Granger has the ability to get clamps, and I felt like that put him up into the best of the best tier. But if I didn't have to be so specific, they're almost the same card. So if you've had Glenn Robinson, if you used Glenn Robinson, or if somebody's cooked you up using Glenn Robinson, you know what Danny Granger is all about. They're basically the same card. Jump shot 29, except actually, Danny Granger has Hall of Fame catch and shoot, corner, Hotson Hunter, and volume shooter, so he's actually going to be a little bit better in that aspect. But add a quick first step, add a clamps, and Danny Granger is going to be one of the best cards in the game. And then we can start off this last two here, which is obviously Carmelo Anthony and Anthony Davis. The last two here. Are you really that surprised? Probably not. Carmelo Anthony, 6'8", and I think has the most Hall of Fame badges in the game if you ignore all of the free agent cards. Is one of the best slashers, 85 driving dunk, and some great finishing. Has Hall of Fame blinders, difficult shots, hot zone hunter, mismatch expert, volume shooter, and rhythm shooter, as well as ankle breaker and silver quick first step. Add clamps onto this Carmelo Anthony and you're fine. Like, this guy is just absolutely insane. He's going to be one of the best defenders in the game if you badge him out correctly. He's going to honestly be the best shooter in the game, be one of the best finishers in the game, and be one of the best playmakers in the game. The dude is just one of the best cards in the game. And the only thing that sucks is he has the slasher dribble style because you can't really cheese as well, but he's still amazing. And Anthony Davis, the card that we got yesterday, which was obviously the one everybody was hyped about and is going for dummy expensive, is honestly one of the best big men right now. His defense is great with Hall of Fame Intimidator, Pogo Stick, and Rim Protector. He may be one of the best just rim defenders in the game or just interior defenders in the game, but still is an 80 perimeter play out there. He has a great post game, he has great dunking, and he's a really capable shooter. Like, all around, Davis is great. You're not going to be able to cheese him or do anything like that, but he is absolutely amazing, and his just all around ability is absolutely insane. So, I'm just going to hide these while I do the outro. If you did enjoy this video, hit the like button down below. If you are somebody that skipped to the end of the video here, there's two sides of the list. We have one here and one there. I'll show you quick. So make sure you check out both sides of the list and not just look at one. Alright? There's a lot of cards on this list. Comment down below if you guys want me to move anybody up or down in the list. Obviously, I know you guys will get that to the comments. Subscribe if you guys are new. On the road to 15K subscribers. And without further ado, I'll see y'all in the next video.